There we go. Big waves out there. So happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Good to see everybody on this beautiful morning. And it's just me today. And we're just gonna rock it. So thank you guys for tuning in. And we're actually doing Jessica Robbins' word of the year, and the word is victorious. And oh, isn't that just such a powerful word? Like when you say it, I think I find myself, I'm like sitting up a little taller. You want to be a little bit stronger. I didn't see any birthdays. So if it's your birthday today, I'm going to kind of be looking at the chat. You got to let us know. So let us know if it's your birthday because we want to sing to you. I know that that's like the highlight of all of Coach's Corner is when we sing to you guys. But I love this word because it's just so powerful. So the definition, having won a victory, triumphant of or characteristic, no, let me try that again. Characterized by victory, and some synonyms, not cinnamon. We're going to try to get the marbles out of our mouth this morning. You know, I'm nervous when I've got marbles in my mouth, so we're going to slow down. But we've got triumphant, we've arrived, we're a champion, we're conquering, we're on top, we're prize winning, all of those things. But what is truly the power of being victorious? It lies in the confidence that we get from winning, right? And it doesn't have to be like when you picture victorious. I don't know about you guys. Like I picture a huge battle. I picture this like monster thing, but actually we can get that confidence in the small victories as well. So I just think about my day of the victories when I choose to drink water before my coffee, right? Those that's always my goal. And you know what? Sometimes I let myself down, but don't I feel victorious when I'm like, oh, I chose to make the right choice this morning over maybe the choice that brought me a little bit more joy in that moment, right? Or when we overcome, what did somebody say the other day on a Zoom where they talked about like the 10-pound or 40-pound phone, right? When we picked up that phone and we made a call that maybe we didn't necessarily want to make, don't we feel victorious? So, and when we feel victorious, one, we gain confidence, but then we also inspire other people, right? It helps us have a more positive mindset and it allows us to create a little bit of momentum for that future success. And all of it is a reminder that with a little bit of determination, a little bit of hard work, with a little bit of strategic planning, we can overcome challenges and we can reach our goals. And I love that, right? But it all comes down to we've got to, in order to be victorious, we have to see ourselves as victorious. And have you ever had that day, right, where you get up in the morning and you kind of feel a little bit more like Eeyore than maybe anything else? And you can't see a victory in your future, right? Where you're like, I don't know, today's hard, or I have this track record, and we kind of can beat ourselves up in what we're walking through. And guess what? We set ourselves up for a pretty poor day. I'm sorry you had that yesterday, Bonnie, but I'm glad today is, or I hope today is a little bit better than that. So, what I looked into was okay, even if we're not winning the big battles, right? Even if we still have spaces to improve. I don't know about you guys, I've got lots of space to improve. Even if we're trying to move the needle and we're just not feeling like we're winning right now, how can we live victoriously so that we can have more wins in our future? So that's the direction I went this morning, and hopefully it serves you guys well. So, first of all, I've got to analyze myself a little bit and I've got to pay attention to what I'm paying attention to. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, what am I tuning into? What books am I reading? Who am I having conversations with? What am I scrolling? All of that. And everything, all victories begin when I become consciously aware of what's already in my life. And if I know that every single time, for example, I talk to a certain person, or I get onto social media and I scroll into specific spaces, if every time I go into those spaces, I feel a little bit less victorious, maybe that's a clue to course correct, right? If every time I go on to a certain influencer's page, I feel influenced to go hide in a closet and cry, well, then maybe that is somebody that I should unfollow. If every time I speak with a specific person, I feel like I can't win that day, well, maybe I need to, space out those conversations a little bit more or do something crazy like set a boundary. You guys know that that's not necessarily a strength of mine, but we can work in that direction, right? But whatever it may be, I've got to just pay attention to what I'm tuning into. Am I reading the books that are growing my mind? Or am I just reading nonsense? And it kind of depends on the day of the week. So sometimes I'm just reading the nonsense, but hopefully the majority of the time I'm reading something that's going to grow me. Am I tuning into different podcasts, different things that are just helping me be a little bit better at me? Or am I plugging into things that are making things a little bit worse? So that's number one. Number two is to focus on my personal growth, my learning, and my resilience. So, what does that look like? If I want to be victorious, I've got to grow into a person with victories. So, as we just said, I've got to read the books that help me move the needle. What do those look like? I don't know. It depends on the stage. I'm reading very specific books right now. And next year, I'm probably going to be reading very different books. And it's just, we got to keep on moving and keep on learning in order to gain that resilience inside of us so we can continue to move the needle in our life. Number three is I have to learn to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. And again, this isn't that toxic positivity where you kind of feel like your life is crumbling, but you're like, but we're going to be okay, and you kind of do this fake where you don't actually believe what you're saying, and you're kind of forcing yourself to say words or try to feel things that aren't actually true. But it's replacing those negative thoughts that aren't true with ones that are more positive. So what do I mean by that? We all can have thoughts in our day of I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I could never. Those kind of thoughts that we can have in our mind that we can replace. Oh, if I've never done this before, but I think this is a great time to learn. Or I've got a 50-year track record of surviving everything that's been thrown at me. So I think that I'm going to make it through today, right? Whatever it may be, but just trying to replace those thoughts that can slow us down in our day. I don't know how, could be, Rose, that I can figure it out. I have a track record of figuring things out. So this is something that I might have to slow down a little bit to figure it out, but I can figure it out because I've done it before. Number four is to surround yourself with things that reflect the kind of life you want to live. What does that look like? Maybe it's the people, right, in your home, the people that you're picking up your phone and you're calling. Maybe it's some little reminders, that vision board. How many of you have Vizzy on your phone? Anybody else heard of that app? It's Vizzy. I think it's Vizzy, and it helps you create a vision board. You kind of throw some pictures and it's going to remind you on your phone every day of the things that you're striving for. Maybe it's the cards. I've gotten some cards recently. Thank you for you guys that you leave up on your refrigerator longer than necessary because it's a beautiful reminder that people love you and that is the life that you want to live. So surround yourself with things that are that reminder of, those imaginary, I don't know, put up pictures of babies. I don't know, maybe don't do that, but those imaginary grandbabies, because that's who you want to be around for someday. That'd be kind of weird. But anyway, you get the point. Number five is to never give up. If we want to be victorious, we can't walk away. We can't win a battle that we don't show up for. Big battle, little battle. We can't win if we're not there for it. So make sure that we don't quit at any time. I think Tracy Turnberg was one that was famous. He would give this talk where he'd say, don't learn how to quit. As long as you don't learn that skill, then you're going to be victorious in the end. Number six is embrace the journey and the effort that you put in, recognizing that setbacks are part of it. Thankfully or unfortunately, we don't just get to constantly go like this, right? That's not how life works. We're going to have those downs and those peaks and all of that. And that is the way that we learn and grow and all of the things. So we just need to recognize those setbacks are the opportunity that we can to go learn something new, to go improve, just to become a little bit of a better person in that moment, and just embrace that journey because it is what it is. You know, you guys have seen, I'm sure, some of the things that I've put out recently, and you know, this life is just a beautiful gift that has some incredible, beautiful, painful moments, and we can just embrace it and keep moving forward because that is just how it's going to work. And then lastly, if we want to be more victorious, is we've got to celebrate those small wins and the progress. Because if I never celebrate the fact that I actually drink my water before my coffee, and in the chats, I saw some of you got your Max 2.0 in already, you're like rock stars, go dance in your kitchen. Go celebrate yourself for those small wins. Because if I never celebrate those small wins, I'm probably never going to get the big wins because I'm going to beat myself up constantly thinking that I'm just not doing anything of value. So go take a moment to go pat yourself on the back, right? I did something today that I'm proud of. I walked the dog before necessarily I needed to, or I exercised, or I drank the water, or I smiled and thought of gratitude before I thought of all the things that I could complain about, whatever it may be, because that's going to allow us to shift our perspective to value each moment of this beautiful experience that we're having rather than just the outcome at the end. So thank you guys so much for trugging through this with me this morning, marbles and all, and love you guys so much. Jessica, I loved this word. I thought it was phenomenal, a great way to start our Tuesday today. And we're a little short and sweet this morning. But we'll see you guys all over on the IPA. So love you guys. Hope you have a beautiful Tuesday, and we'll see you back soon.
Thank you for the message. It was awesome.
Great job.
Thank you.
Goodbye,
Love you guys.
everyone.
Glad to be
Thank
back with
you.
everyone.
Spread the word. Love
Good
this.
job.
We can
Bye. God
all
bless
be
you.
Love you guys.
victorious.
Have a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bless you, everyone.
Bless you, lady. We'll see you soon.